All right, today I'm going to be working with my Comfort Hive, which is a modified Warray hive. It's designed to be easy to throw together, inexpensive. It's a little bit more difficult to manage, but it's it's different to manage anyway. And I've largely left it untouched through the summer. I've noticed recently that it is leaning, and so I want to get that corrected. And I need to go into that box to see how they're doing. I see pollen coming in right now at the entrance. So I want to just inspect it, but also move the boxes over to the metal rack there on the right, and then I'm going to move that stand on the little, let's see, there we go, on that block that should keep the feet from, I think the reason it's leaning is the feet have started sinking into the ground. And so by putting it on that concrete block, that should keep one side from unevenly settling. And hopefully that will make it stable enough to get through this winter ahead. I know for sure that we're going to have some very, very wonky comb, largely because I was told that you could use bamboo skewers, but apparently there's different sizes, and the ones I got were too thin and wouldn't bear the weight of the comb. So on a previous inspection, I discovered that problem, and then I added those two upper boxes that have 1/4-inch dowels as their anchors for the comb. So I'm going to try to separate those boxes, give it as much of an inspection as I can, given whatever I find the state of the comb to be, get them moved to a new location and settled in so that they can re-cement everything with propolis to be ready for winter. So that is the project for today. And I know that some folks are probably going to watch this and go, why would you use them? It's such a hassle to manage. And the answer simply is that at the time I needed a hive for these bees, I couldn't afford any more of the hives that I've been using, and this was a way to continue to grow, but also I've seen at least one prominent queen rearer who finds it very handy to do his queen rearing in these types of hives. Now what he does, he separates them into like half frames as a mating nook. Okay, the other thing that I may have need of here is a tool. I'll definitely need my hive tool. Got a couple of them right here, and I might need this, which is thin stainless steel wire that I can run between the frames to cut off any comb that's gone deeper than just the one. But I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to make some room here on my metal shelf to set them once I pull them apart. If I need to use the wire when the time comes, I will. I'm going to remove the brick. We'll put that back on later. Remove the wood. That's just as a weight. I will beef up the roof, probably with a tile, before we go into winter. And here is just a little bit of a seal and an insulation. I'm just going to start to peel this back at the corners. lay my arm across the dowels so that they don't get torn out of position. And they have not made it all the way up into, they've not started building on the dowels here on top. Shake those down. I'm going to lay that aside for later. I'm going to smoke them a little bit and then give you a glimpse of what we're looking at. Now in a Warray hive, what I'm told is that the conventional way to add space to a hive is not to do it as I did, adding these boxes on top after they had filled out the ones below. But rather, you add your new boxes at the bottom. And so this will give me the opportunity to make that a little bit of a correction. What I'll probably do is separate the comb at the point where it's attached to the walls. Actually, I'll probably detach it from, let's see, what's the best way? Yeah, I'll probably detach it from the walls, move that top box, and then cut out a little comb, letting them build back below. All right. All right, so I'm going to remove the dowels from this top box. I'm going to separate the comb that was on the walls from the side walls. They're nice and full. Be able to pry this box up and off, and I'm going to put that on the bottom when I reconstruct the new hive. Well, that made some of them upset with me. I know. Now the second one is where I'm going to need to separate the levels, the boxes. So what I'm going to need to do is to pry the box up a little bit, then run this wire through there. Okay, now I should be able, see, I might not have gotten it over the dowels here. I'm going to try to just saw my way through. Okay, nothing like a face of angry bees. It's alright, girls. It's going to be disruptive, but I'm not trying to hurt you, and I'm not trying to take any of your winter resources. I know. I know. Come on, calm down for me. You're just kind of determined, aren't you? Alright, well, despite their upset, it should now be possible for me to lift this box off. All right, that box is in good shape. I think most of those frames I could probably lift out and inspect. Not so with this one. Probably, if it weren't for the weight, it would have been possible for me to lift all three of those as a unit. They're going to be lighter weight doing it this way. So I think I'm going to leave this one, since it has some cone poking up over the top. I'm going to move it aside. I'm going to set the other one right here, or the other two. I'm going to try to move both of those together, and then I can reassemble. Okay, now I get a glimpse of what we have as far as pests. I do see some hive beetles down there. They are definitely upset with me now. Time to step back for a few minutes. Okay, I'm not sure there's much I'm going to be able to do to calm them down at this point, so I'm just going to get the work done. I'm going to move this and set it on the concrete stand. Put this one back here with the entrance facing in the way that the entrances did before. I'm going to bring these two. If I can find the best way to pick them up. Oh, can't do that yet. So before I put that on top, I need to put the dowels in place. These are the Warray or the Comfort Hive equivalent of frames. Alright. So this box is a little out of alignment with those below it. It's because it was leaning, but it's got so much comb built up there attaching those two frames, those two boxes, that I won't be able to align that part. So it's close enough. I'm going to try to get some of these bees off the edge of the box so that I minimize crushing. Now we're going to bring this one over, put it back down where it was. And then I'm going to cut off the comb that stood up over the frames, and in order not to cause robbing, well, they're strong enough, they're not going to get robbed out, so I'm going to let them take the nectar out of these combs. There's not a whole lot, but there's a little bit there, so they can reclaim it. Okay, so now there's some honey on this metal bench that they can reclaim. Now I'm ready to seal them back up, make sure my dowels are spaced properly, and they are. Just going to run this over and wiggle it a little bit, help them know the pressure's about to be applied. Then we'll put a lid on that. And then a brick and a board. Okay, so what have I learned? Don't use thin barbecue skewers. Use a dowel. Have the proper dowels in the proper place from the outset. And other than that, I think they're looking pretty good. See lots of signs of pollen. I wasn't able to look at the frames, but they had nectar stored on those on the very top. So I believe they're probably well situated for the winter, or will be if we get a little bit of a fall flow, which hopefully we will in the next few days. So let's see, what are you able to see here? You see just the number of bees that we have. They now have figured out that the queen's in there. They're all trying to get back inside. Alright, so they're still gathered all around me, but they can't get to me, so all is well. That is the Comfort Hive, inspected late September, whatever day this is, before I leave in a few weeks for an international trip. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be making more as the fall goes on, although not from mid-October to mid-November, because I'll be out of the country.